Alright, in this video we're going to go over the disassembly of the Ruger LC9 handgun. As when handling a firearm, first thing we do is we check to make sure it's unloaded. Press the magazine release here on the left side of the frame at the back of the trigger guard. You can see the magazine's empty, set her aside. The safety needs to be in the down off position for you to be able to rack the weapon. Rack the slide, you can see the chamber's empty and we can begin disassembling it. Now the first thing we're going to do is we're going to remove the slide assembly off of the frame assembly. To do that we need to push this takedown pin here through from right to left. To do that, this little takedown door lever here needs to be in the down position. Now right now I've already got it in the down position. I've done that to make a point. I can use my finger, my nail here, and I can just flick that little lever up. That blocks the pin so that it doesn't accidentally fall out while you're using the weapon or while you're carrying it, so the slide doesn't actually come off. But if you try to use your nail or your finger to actually push it back down, you won't be able to. It's pretty difficult. A lot of new LC9 owners will have trouble moving that little piece and they'll think, oh, it's because the gun's new or because the gun's pretty tight. This weapon right here is actually brand new, never fired outside of the factory. It's not because the weapon's tight and you can't move that lever, it's because it's the way it's designed. If you look closely here, you can see two little rails that are underneath that top of the takedown lever. The rails are what binds up when you try to push down the outside. When I flicked it up the first time, I was putting pressure on the outside of it and it tilted it inward and it was able to slide up. When you're trying to use your nail to push down on it, you're actually tilting the lever outward with the top part away from the gun and the rails bind and it won't drop down. Ruger's actually designed it specifically like that so that as you're going along you won't just be able to accidentally casually brush that lever down. So what you need to do is you need to use a tool. Ruger actually supplies a little key-shaped device for this. You can use the edge of a screwdriver, the tip of a knife. I've used mechanical pencils, anything like that. What you're going to do is you're going to take whatever tool it is you're using, push it in the little hemispherical cut here, and you're going to pivot up towards the side and you're going to rotate that down. You see that the takedown lever drops away easily. The reason is when you're using a tool like that, you're actually pushing down on the inside of the lever as opposed to the outside of it, and so when the tool pushes down on it, it's pushing down the inside and it drops easy as opposed to torquing that piece as it tries to drop it out of the way. So now that we've got the lever down here, what we're going to need to do is you're going to need to retract the slide just slightly. You can see that the slide doesn't quite line up with the pin in that hemispherical cut. You want to pull back just a little bit so that the pin now lines up and it'll be able to slide out. Take whatever tool that you're using. I'm going to go ahead and use the Ruger factory tool, and you're going to come in from the other side of the handgun, right here where you see this little tab underneath the ejection port. You're going to push that little tab down out of the way, and you're going to push straight through and push that cross pin right out the left side of the frame of the handgun. So once again, line this up, get this through. Give me a second here, and you can see that I can push the pin out. So now I've got the tool and the pin halfway through. Go ahead and pull the pin out all the way. Set her aside, and you can take out your tool. Now the slide of the weapon will just come straight off the front of the handgun. For the frame assembly, there shouldn't be anything you have to do here. There may be a little bit of gunpowder kickback around the trigger or the action area. Just take a Q-tip and wipe up around there, but there won't be too much you need to clean around here. Don't mess with the trigger or safety assembly unless you're exceedingly confident in what you're doing. We'll void your warranty if you're not an authorized repair individual. You may want to use some kind of gun oil, dry graphite, whatever it is you lube your action, to put on the rails there where the slide is contacting with the frame assembly. For the slide, it's a typical Browning design here. What we're going to do is we're going to compress the recoil spring here, push down on that, rotate outward, and you'll be able to pull the recoil spring and the recoil spring guide out of the handgun. Next, you're going to take the barrel here, you're going to push forward, rotate her outward, back towards the bottom where the frame would be, and you'll be able to take the barrel out of the slide. You can just use Q-tips or whatever it is you use to clean for the barrel. A bore snake, go ahead and clean up around through the inside of the barrel. You may want to put a little bit of that dry graphite or gun oil around this lugging mechanism here on the bottom of the barrel. That should be all you'll need to clean for that. For the slide, you may want to clean mostly around the bolt face and around the action rails here. There will be a little bit of gunpowder built up around there, mostly around the action face. The firing pin channel should be pretty clean. You can go ahead and take a pen, whatever little tool it is you want to use, and try and push up, test to make sure that works, and then push the firing pin safety, and then use another tool to push out to make sure that you still get good firing pin protrusion. And that is the disassembly of the Ruger LC9 handgun.